adding different colors yarns to your project is easy. What we will need to do is the following. To create horizontal stripes like the one over here, it is one of the easiest ways to add different colors to your project. To begin, a large eye needle with your different color, and go to the beginning of a row or a round, and with your needle, insert it through one of the bumps on the wrong side of the item. And this is just to lock the yarn in so that it doesn't go far or travel off. So as you can see, over here we have the dark blue and the lavender. The dark blue is our main color, and the lavender will be our contrasting color. So now that it's anchored right there by the beginning of the row, simply start knitting with your yarn and knit the entire round as you normally would. Continue knitting around until you reach the beginning of the round. Right here, you will notice that the last stitch coming from the old yarn is going to be loose. So simply tug on the working yarn of the main color, and that will snug up the last stitch right there. Let's do 2 rows of contrasting color. So continue knitting another round with your contrasting color, and then we're going to do some color work. So over here we have knitted the 2 rows, and now we're ready to do some color work. One thing that you have to remember when you're doing color work, that last stitch, one thing that you need to remember when you're doing color work, and if anything you take from this little video, it has to be this: you have to maintain consistency with your colors, meaning you have to maintain the same order when you are wrapping around. Usually the background color goes over the contrasting color. So let's say we're going to knit a pattern of 2 in the contrasting color and 2 in the main color. What we do is, let's do the first 2 with the background color. So you can see I am putting it over, and we need the first 2. Now we're going to knit the next 2 with the contrasting color or the foreground color. The contrasting color will come from underneath. See that? You see the main color will go over, and you grab the contrasting color from under. So knit the next 2. And now we need to knit the next 2 with the main color. So with the main color we went over. Now we grab the contrasting color by going under and knit the next 2. Remember to keep this consistency. Grab one from over and one from under. This will help your fair isle or stranded knitting be more crisp. contrasting under, main color over, and continue like this in that form. Remember, main color over, foreground color under. Another thing that you need to remember when doing color work is that you don't want your traveling yarns to be too long in the back. So try to make it less than 1 inch, the traveling. For this reason, it is recommended that you try to knit your Fair Isle or stranded knitting in a smaller gauge, such as a fine gauge, like in this small sampler. This was knitted in a fine gauge. Then there's this one that was also knitted on a fine gauge. Then you can see in this pattern right here, this was knitted in a regular gauge. And although the pattern is still crisp, you can see that it's quite loose. And in the back, the floats, that's what the strands in the back are called. The floats are a little bit too long. It's not bad when knitting an item for an adult, but if you're knitting the item for a child, you want these floats to be quite tight, just for precautions reasons. And this is the item that was done in the fine gauge, and we're gonna turn it around for you to see the floats. As you can see, they're very neatly and small, except for a few that are long, but it's not like this other one that was knitted on the regular gauge. One thing that you can do when you have long floats like this one is to cut it and then weave in the ends like you would regularly. When doing color work is that you have to block your item. Blocking it helps your stitches become more even, and if there's any puckering, you know, if it looks quite like, let's see this one right here I didn't block so that you could see the difference. See right here, these loops, they're a little too big, but with blocking you can set those stitches smaller and pull them in, and the entire design will be more crisp, just like in this little sampler. And that is working with colors.